Alright, this is Andrew Jolly with Jota Home Inspections. We're just doing a sewer scope today here at 7990 Oak Creek Drive in Sandy. It is June 25th, 2020. We've got the camera pushed out 125 feet. So we are not to the end of the line. This is a rather long line, but this is as far as I can push my camera out from this point. Once I get out past 100 feet or so, it can be hard to push out. I had to go through a couple 90s, and that also makes it more difficult. And so I did see a sewer access point somewhere around 100 feet. We'll see it as I pull it back. I don't know where that is in the yard. A lot of times they're buried, but the point of them is so that you can access them, and then if you have to do a camera like we're doing today, or if you're having the line cleaned out, there's other points where you can access the line so you can inspect all of it, or access all of it. I would recommend asking the seller for your own reference where that is. I don't know if they'll know where it is if it's buried, but it's always worth a shot asking. But we're going to pull it back and record it and see what we find. The average length of a through line is around 100 feet, so this is a longer line, but I'm not surprised just based on how long the driveway is. You can see that's one of the 90s I had to go through. So once you go through a couple of those, it can be hard to continue to push the camera out. I had to run a lot of water even to get 125 feet out. So this is a clay line. You can see how red the bottom of the line is. Kind of looks like terracotta. That's how we know that it's clay. I did see a good-sized root. We're coming up on it right here. So closing in on 25-30% of the line or so. I'd recommend having it jetted out. Once you have roots, you're always going to have roots, and that's going to be a maintenance item down the road where you need to have them removed. Otherwise, they're going to continue to grow, and then things can catch on it, and that can create a backup. So I don't know how fast this one is growing. Some of them you have to have removed every 6 months. Sometimes people go every couple years and still don't have issues. And so, as a precaution, I always recommend having them removed when I find them, when they're this size, and then just maintaining it over time. When you have that done, the drain company can usually locate where your access points are. And so if they're not able to get past 125 feet to the end of the line, they can at least locate where the access point is and maybe dig it up and access it and scope the rest of the line for you at the same time. And if you have a line hydrojetted, that's usually going to include a scope as well. I'm looking for any standing water. This doesn't have any standing water, which is fantastic. That means that everything is draining on its own with gravity. The slope of the line is one of the most important parts. Overall, this line's looking really good. Obviously I'm not able to comment on the end of the line because I can't access it, but the joints are looking good. I haven't seen any offsets. Sometimes on clay lines, these joints will separate, and then you'll get a big offset where debris can catch. Biggest point of concern is going to be that root, and then finding out what the end of the line looks like. This is cast iron. Cast iron is what's underneath your slab a lot of times. This is going to be the weakest link. With cast iron, it'll get very rough and rusty, and it gets thin. It can get holes and cracks, and it gets very rough, so things can catch on it. This is rusted, but it looks really good. I'd say this still has life left in it. Although it can be hard to inspect because that rust does cover up any cracks that it might have. I accessed the line today through the basement laundry room area. There's a spot where it's been roughed in for a future toilet. You can see it right there. So I removed the cover and I accessed the line through there. So I am going to end this recording now.